This is my empty nest. My grandkids started digging the center out of it and calling it a volcano, but I think it's pretty cool. Shortly though, I have to start digging it up and putting it in the garden. I got a good sized hunk off the backside here. Here's some photos from our day of nest making, or volcano making. Cullen started it. There's Bella, me and Bella, and Scotty. And Tessa. Here's one of John Parker's grapevines, doing well. Has some new growth on it. This is another of John Parker's grapevines right here, doing well. Look at that. Did I call you? Everybody comes running when I run out to the garden. Here's another iris. This is a pure white one. This is one of Mrs. Darce. She said it's her husband's favorite, called Captain's Table. It'll have a pure white bloom. The broccoli has gone into fern. Here's the walking onions getting ready to make bulbets. More asparagus and fern, and there's one that I could have, if it weren't raining, I could have came out and pulled it yesterday and ate it, but here's a new one growing. So by 2 o'clock today I'll have an asparagus. I need to get these yacon in the ground. There's another comfrey plant. The rose bush has got the leaves coming out and doing well. No signs of flowers yet. This one here is my niece's rose, Teresa, that I got from her yard in St. Louis, and it made it through the winter. It's a cutting that I pulled off and sprouted, so I'm really happy with it. And don't mind that it's not, I haven't got the area mulched yet for the year. The daylilies I bought to celebrate Miss Darst are doing well. Comfrey's doing well. It's got some blooms started. Another daylily. Wild onion or garlic. The pecan tree has the little tassels out. Here's a rose bush. The rose bush up front is from my daughter Amy, and this one's from Tessa. And this is Debbie's iris. And the rain kind of messed up its bloom, but it's got more blooms to go. The comfrey is growing like weeds. Here's a look at the blooms. I don't have all the tomatoes in, but I do have some, and looks like they're making it through the cooler temperatures and rain. Need to get mulch back up on these guys. And everywhere I look, another mulberry tree. It's kind of like I am growing the mulberry forest, and then all the work we did to get rid of the honeysuckle last year, all we did was multiply it, and blackberries multiplied, and the sorghum, it's still there. There's another comfrey bush. My weed whacker is in the shop. It's getting repaired, so I don't have all the weeds took down. This is the perennial sorghum, and I'm not seeing any signs of new growth. That's the coral sorghum. Look at the root structure. It came up and out of there. It was like growing roots above the ground. But I'm gonna get all these canes took down and see what's going on with them. Not sure if the winter prevents me from having perennial sorghum or not, but we'll find out if these guys come back or if I need to replant. Silka's over there guarding the yard. She heard us coming. Napa cabbage. It's a Chinese cabbage. I'm going to grow these in water this year, like hydroponics or aquaponics, depending on if I get fish or not. Another comfrey. And seedlings knocked over. Let's get some soil around that and see if it makes it through. This is either bok choy or tatsu. I've got seeds for both in here from Joe at Cultivating Organics. And there's another Napa cabbage, some potatoes, and then lots of potatoes. I planted them in succession this year. I started out with this row and this garden here. And then every couple days I planted a few more. Other than that one right there came up from last year. It was a tuber left in the ground and somehow it's doing the best of all. So fall planting works. These guys are growing. And then normal cabbage, and more Chinese cabbage over there. And lots of weeds. That's a cigar tree that it keeps regrowing that I got to dig out. And then curly dock. It is actually edible, the roots. I did a video in the past on it attracting potato beetles like a trap plant, and it also has a root like a carrot that you can eat. There's another another iris right there, getting ready to bloom. And this is the last garden. It's got a few potatoes coming up and some uncovered. I have to get these guys dug back in and put them back in the ground. That one is sprouted. And then the food forest, or I should say, there's a mulberry and there's a mulberry. These I wish I could have dug up and sent to Bob LT. And that's a pecan or a walnut regrowing into shape there. Have to cut it back down again. And that one needs to be cut down again. Look at the size of these asparagus today. This is Martha Washington, and it's probably as wide as my finger. This one's turned to getting ready to flower. Okay, got broccoli going this way. I'm going to put the true potato seeds in this area also. What, grumpy? Why are you so grumpy, huh? Aw, come here, Dusty. His feathers are coming back in. He's got some white fluff now. The wild rose bush is in bloom. I call it a buttercup but I don't know its actual name. It's not flowering prolific like it normally does. And more iris. It's kind of a wine purple, wine red, yellow, and tan to yellow color. This one here has kind of purple, light lavender, yellow, forms of yellow, and yellow inside. There's another comfrey bush, and this is my favorite. Deep dark purple, light lavender, a little bit of yellow. The snowball bush is leaning over from all the rain, but it's still beautiful. I might try doing some cut-ins on it this year and multiply some more. This is one of my favorite plants. I had one at my first house in the 80s and had to leave it. And I had to leave one at my last house, and this one is a replacement for all of them. They grow pretty fast and always make me smile. And my hostas are doing really well. This is the one that I divided up. I think this one's called Blue Mammoth. It's monstrous. Here's my hand. Some substance is in there somewhere. It'll start peeking through. It's more yellow. And I think this one's called Wheaten Blue. It's a good size, but it's pretty much a medium. It's a little bigger than my hand. Oh. And there's Dusty again. And then I think that's Ario marginata hiding in the daylilies. Or tiger lilies. Those are roadside tiger. And more blackberries popping up everywhere. This is Ligularia firecracker. It'll get 18 inches to 2 foot tall with yellow blooms. More pokeweed and more, what's that called? Queen Anne's lace. It's kind of like a wild carrot. Grumpy, grumpy. That's elephant ear garlic in there. And elephant ear garlic over here too. This plant. Okay, this is kind of a messy area. Need the grass pulled down, but the multiplier onions are getting ready to bloom. These are the white ones that look kind of like bunching onions, and then walking onions in the back. Those are from Debbie. And then the asparagus patch that I put in last year. I've got the red shallots. They might be French shallots. And more potatoes, onions coming up here. They're mixed in the bed here and there.